But I got a question for you guys this morning. If Matthew Stafford and the Rams win on Sunday, is he a lock for the Hall of Fame? Is Matthew Stafford a lock for the Hall of Fame if he wins on Sunday? With an MVP or without, it doesn't matter to me. Jeff?
I don't think so. I don't think a lock. I think it definitely elevates him. I think to be able to be a lock for the Hall of Fame, he has the statistics. We know this. Like, if you look at their numbers, and I'll talk about Aaron Rodgers and his one Super Bowl win, let me compare their statistics. So Matthew Stafford is 11th in all-time passing yards, 49,995. Aaron Rodgers is 10th with 55,360. And in terms of passer rating, Matthew Stafford's 12th of all time, 274.7. Aaron Rodgers is 10th of all time. Touchdown passes, Matthew's 12th, Aaron's 5th. So in terms of statistics, Matthew, he's 34 years old. He has probably another good 5 years left of his career. So statistically, he'll put up the numbers. My question is, yes, you do win the Super Bowl. Now you're Super Bowl champion. What do you do next year, the following year? If he finishes his career with a Super Bowl win, maybe an MVP, in more appearances in the playoffs and more playoff wins, I think so. I think he is. I mean, number-wise, you can't argue it. The problem was the first 12 seasons was never his numbers. It was the winning. And through 12 seasons, didn't win a playoff game, put up all the numbers in the world, certainly Hall of Famer numbers. And now, being in L.A., he has a certain chance this year to win a Super Bowl, tie Aaron Rodgers for the same amount of Super Bowl wins. But the difference is Aaron Rodgers has been in the NFC Championship multiple times. This is Matthew Stafford's first season in L.A. So to actually answer the question, I'm not going to say he won't be a lock, but by the time his career's over, damn straight, he'll be a Hall of Famer, I think.
I'll tell you what. I think he's a lock for the Hall of Fame if he wins Sunday. And I'm tired of this, we use different arguments for every single player. There's not a clear definition of what a Hall of Famer is. Was Terrell Owens not a first ballot Hall of Famer? I think he was. He was a jerk off the field. Media didn't like him. I don't care if you like him or not. He is the definition of a Hall of Fame player. Now, Matthew Stafford with a win on Sunday, 1 year removed from arguably the worst franchise in the NFL over the last 58 years. He delivers a Super Bowl, not a playoff win, not a few playoff wins, a division title. No. A clean sweep. 4-0 in the playoffs, likely an MVP, a division title 1 year removed. I don't know. When I look at a player's career, I take what happened into context. That matters. Dan Marino's career. Do I slate him for not winning a Super Bowl? Even though he came out the gate super hot? No. John Elway. Was John Elway a Hall of Fame quarterback before Mike Shanahan and Terrell Davis showed up?
Yeah, they started running the football.
The answer is yes, he was a Hall of Famer. Without the Super Bowls. And my argument this morning for Matthew Stafford to be a Hall of Famer, if he wins the Super Bowl, I think it's a sure lock. I really do. You're talking about a guy that's going to go well over 60,000 yards career passing if he keeps playing, especially if he re-signs with the Rams. Good luck. I mean, let's say he spends another 4 or 5 years with LA.
Yeah.
In those 4 or 5 years, after a Super Bowl win, I could argue that just that 5-6 year span will be enough to get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And you can disregard the previous 12 years.
I agree with that.
But I'm not going to forget about those 12 years. I'm not going to forget that the guy in his third season in the NFL took one of the worst rosters in 2011 to the playoffs with a 10-6 record. I'm not going to forget that. And he threw for over 5,000 yards. I'm not going to forget that. I'm not going to forget that in his first 6 full seasons, he took the Lions to the playoffs 3 times. The Lions. Context matters. And when you talk to me about Aaron Rodgers, 17 years of what, Jeff? Stability.
Mm-hmm.
Weak division. The best team in the division year in and year out. The best ownership, the best coaching every
MVP.
single year. He's got the individual regular season awards. I cannot dispute that. But we want to talk about getting to the title game all those times. Dude's been there one time. He has the same amount of appearances as this guy.
Yeah.
So, again, context.
Mm-hmm.
If I took Matthew Stafford and put him on the Green Bay Packers all those years.
Yeah, but...
Again, I don't want to go too far into it, but the point is, you can at least acknowledge the story would be different.
Of course.
The story would be different. And for me, that matters. Yes, where you go matters. Tom Brady drafted by the Cleveland Browns. Do we get seven Super Bowl champion Tom Brady? I don't know. Tough question to ask.
Yeah.
But the point is, when I look at your career, your resume as an NFL player, context matters. Context really matters. And I'm sorry, Phillip Rivers, is he a Hall of Famer? Maybe not a first ballot, maybe not the second or third time in. But I think eventually he'll likely get in. Ben Roethlisberger, obviously, that's not even a question. He has a few Super Bowls on his resume.
Yep.
But Drew Brees. Drew Brees won a Super Bowl extremely early on with the Saints, went 10, 11 years without winning anything. But he's a Hall of Famer. What if he never won a Super Bowl? He would still be a Hall of Famer owning all the records he does. And Stafford is on pace to deliver on all of those numbers. So yes, I think he's a lock if he wins on Sunday because he has the ultimate trump card, the ultimate narrative card, which is, I spent 12 years in hell. You guys got me out for 1 year. I won every single thing there is to win outside of a regular season MVP. Not bad if you ask me.
Yeah. Drew Brees came second a lot of times. They're not going to bring that up.
And if I tell you that Matthew Stafford is with the Rams for the next 5 years, would it be egregious of me to suggest that he could possibly, just possibly 1 year, win the MVP just one time?
And he'll match John Elway.
Just one time. He'll match John Elway. He'll match Dan Marino.
Yeah. Just by getting that.
I mean, come on. Look. I think the Hall of Fame is reserved for some of the best players we've seen in football. Okay? And I think every year they're a bit different in how they vote, and that bothers me a little bit, and it seems to be a trend with all the Hall of Fame committees. But anyways, beyond the point, if you tell me Monday of next week Matthew Stafford is a Super Bowl champion, whether he's a Super Bowl MVP or not, we'll see how the game plays out. If they win, I think the point is, with the Super Bowl, that holds a ton of weight, especially for a guy who's going to finish with 60, 65, maybe even 70,000 yards passing in his career.
He's already top 10 in a lot of those categories.
So it's a tough argument for me not to make. It really is. I thought about it a lot. Look, I know the winning wasn't there in Detroit. I totally get it. But when you look back on his time in Detroit, those 12 seasons, what do you remember? You remember a guy that kept you in all the games, but more importantly, a guy with the yards, I believe over 47,000, over 280 touchdowns thrown in those 12 years.
The comeback drives, I feel like those
the
got to
game-winning
matter.
I believe it was 39 or 40, one of the two.
Yep.
And then
He's got 42.
3 playoff appearances.
Mm-hmm.
3 playoff appearances in Detroit. Did you know since 99? Since 1999. The Detroit Lions had never made the playoffs prior to Matthew Stafford. 1999 was their last appearance before they drafted him, and 3 years later, he took them to where they wanted to be. Did they ever win a division? No. Did he have a losing record against winning teams? Yes, he did. That is a fact. Sure.
Yep.
But you have to be extremely ignorant not to see the other side of the story. There are always two sides.
Yep.
And if you can only tell one side, you'll never get the full picture. You'll never understand the full context. The two sides are, yes, Stafford did underdeliver. Yes, he wasn't the guy that could carry Detroit. Here's the second side. Nobody could ever carry Detroit. That is a proven thing. He dealt with the worst coaching probably in the 12 years any quarterback has dealt with. The worst front office, the worst executives, the worst ownership. If that doesn't hold weight in a Hall of Fame where we always talk about narrative, I'm not sure what we're doing. I'm really not. But for me, he wins a Super Bowl, he's a lock. He's a lock. There's no chance. There's not a single quarterback that's won a Super Bowl with those numbers, let alone not won one, that isn't in the Super Bowl, that's currently eligible. The guy's got the numbers to prove it. All right? When we talk about Steve Smith never won a Super Bowl. Yes, I know he's a wide receiver, quarterback position differently, but he's a Hall of Fame wide receiver. He is a Hall of Fame wide receiver. He has a Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah. And
he was a Triple Crown king. Like, he has his own accomplishments. And what I want people to not get caught up in is, just looking at the 12 years, failure. No. Context matters.
Right.
That was the worst organization in the NFL during those 12 years, with at best a C head coach, C minus. Come on. You give him a A minus, A plus, whatever you want to consider Sean McVay. You give him A in the front office, A at ownership level, A as a coach, A as a roster. He's an A quarterback right now. And you tell me, well, Adam, that's a stacked team. All right, fine. That's a stacked team. Brady, Moss, Welker wasn't a stacked team. Brady, Gronk, Aaron Hernandez wasn't a stacked team. Gronk, Edelman, Brady wasn't a stacked team. The Bucks, the Chiefs, the Bills. Come on. Let's not change it for one guy. You need good coaching and good players to win. That is a fact. No quarterback can do it by himself. No one. Nobody. It's never been done. There's no quarterback that carried a LeBron James-esque roster all the way to the Super Bowl and won it for them. Joe Flacco, he won. Why? Because of the defense. He's a he's a Hall of Fame quarterback for me if he wins on Sunday. I don't think it's a question.